Before you is a game where your goal is to capture the enemy flag and bring it back to your base. At first glance, this seems impossible. There are no visible paths to the enemy base. But what if we are not seeing the whole map? What if most of it hidden in space of higher dimension? By using a special ability to rotate along an additional axis, the player can reveal a hidden passage in another slice of three-dimensional space. Therefore, by shifting along this extra axis, they can enter the passage and finally reach the sphere. Hi everyone! I am the developer of Slice 4D Shooter, a multiplayer first-person shooter set in the 4-dimensional space. This is a tutorial on how to play. In Slice you control a 4-dimensional drone, specially designed to exploration, movement and combat in 4D space. Right now, as in the previous analogy, you can only see a fragment of the map, a flat 3-dimensional slice of 4-dimensional space. To see other parts of the map, hold down the right mouse button and move your mouse up and down. Instead of the usual up and down pitch rotation, the drone rotates along the false axis. This allows you to explore the 4D map and target objects in deeper regions of higher dimensional space. The physics in Slice 4D Shooter differ from the familiar laws of 3D space. Gravity in Slice acts on objects simultaneously in two directions, the usual top to bottom direction, and along the additional false axis. The 4D drone can perform jumps in two directions. Pressing the spacebar makes the drone perform a standard shooter jumps upward. Pressing Shift makes the drone jump along the additional false axis, in direction I call W up. This is called a hyperjump. To understand how this works, let's return to the analogy example. There, just like in the main game, gravity acts on the player simultaneously along two axes, top to bottom along the y-axis and along the player's invisible z-axis. By jumping along the additional axis, the flat spatial slice the player sees shifts with them, revealing other parts of 3D map. Using their jumps, the player can jump onto objects from different sides. In Slice 4D Shooter it works the same way, except gravity and the hyper jump affect the drone not along the third axis, but along the fourth axis. For example, the drone doesn't have enough jump height to get onto this cube, but by holding the right mouse button and rotating along the fourth axis, you can see that further along the fourth axis this cube has a ledge. If you simultaneously press Shift and Spacebar and jump along both axes at once, you can use the revealed step to jump again and land on top of the cube. Here how an analogous jump looks in 3-dimensional space. Here are a few more examples of moving around the map using the hyperjump. Combat in the 4-dimensional space of Slice 4D Shooter generally works like in any other shooter. You need to aim at the enemy and shoot to destroy them. However, if an enemy uses a hyper jump to leave our visible spatial slice, they disappear from view and can no longer be hit. Of course, we can aim at the enemy by rotating along the false axis, but the aim will be lost with any movement of us or the enemy drone. To understand why this happens, let's consider an example of similar combat but in 3-dimensional space. Here, an enemy drone has hidden from us by jumping into a ledge located higher along the third axis. We are imitated by rotating along the additional axis, but any movement by it or us moves the drone out from our visible spatial slice. To ensure that enemy targeting isn't lost during movement, the drones are equipped with a special spatial scanner and an auto-aim mode along an additional axis. When the EK is pressed, the scanner activates and the drone emits a spherical wave. If the wave intersects with an enemy, the scanner draws their projection onto the visible spatial slice. When the drone aims at the projection, it automatically rotates towards the enemy along the additional axis. As long as drone is locked onto the projection, the auto rotation persists even while moving. In the 4-dimensional space of Slice 4D shooter, this works the same way. Pressing the E key makes drone emit a 4-dimensional spherical wave. When the wave intersects with an enemy, their location is displayed on the two bottom screens, and their projection appears in the 3-dimensional spatial slice. By aiming at the projection, the drone automatically rotates towards the enemy along the false axis. This allows for effective combats even when enemies are at different depths in 4-dimensional space. Enemy projections also appear if an enemy hits us or if we hit them. Slice 4D shooter currently features 3 weapons. You are already familiar with the first one, the laser machine gun. Quite simple, you shoot where you aim. The second gun is the laser shotgun. Unlike a regular shotgun, its shot spreads also occurs along the false axis. This can be useful for hitting an enemy and creating its projection even if you don't see it in your current spatial slice. The third weapon is called the energy gun. Hold down the left mouse button to charge it. Releasing the left mouse button fires an energy beam, creating a powerful 4-dimensional explosion. The explosion knocks enemies back, deals significant damage, and temporarily destroys the environment. The more you charge the energy gun, the bigger explosion it creates. Since the explosion is 4-dimensional, it can hit enemies even outside our visible spatial slice. Currently, the game has one game mode: Team Capture the Flag. The first team to capture and deliver 4 enemy flags to their own base wins. Slice 4D shooter is being developed by me as a solo developer using a custom-built 4D engine and is currently in the playable prototype stage. I have decided to release the entire project code publicly under the free GPL license and continue development as free software financially supported by players. My goal is to make Slice 4D shooter the first cybersport 4D first-person shooter developed as free software, where anyone can freely modify the game, contribute improvements, or even host their own servers, and players will truly own the game they invest time and money into. You can download and try Slice 4D shooter on itch.io. The current version supports online multiplayer. Links to all resources, the project's website with a detailed game description and development roadmap, the itch.io page with the current version of the game, the game's source code, and all ways to financially support the project are available in the video description below. Subscribe to the channel, like the videos, leave your thoughts about the game in the comments, try Slice 4D shooter and support development financially to play the final version of the game. Thank you.